Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Drive Pink Dialogue post-game show. We're going live. That was a stressful game. We felt comfortable for a long period of time in this game, and then basically Chicago makes a few substitutes in the 60th minute, and the game sort of turns, but it feels like we've been dominating for so long that we just have this, and then all of a sudden Chicago gets the equalizer. And Jordi Alba said, "Oh, that was cute. Watch this." And Inter Miami does get the 2-1 victory. How you feeling, man?
Dude, I think we got lucky there. Just a little bit. That's the weirdest game of football I've seen in a while. I was so comfortable for the first 65 minutes. I was on my phone when they scored, and I was like, what the hell just happened? And then it just seemed like we're never going to lose this game. But at the same time, Chicago had a fair few chances to at the end. In the first half, we were absolutely cooking. We were looking so good. And I would say everyone was playing really well. And then we ran out of steam. We didn't convert our chances. And I was bang on point about Luis Suarez being frustrated because he was exactly what happened with him. But important thing is, got 3 points. It feels like these last few games, the stretch of 7 games that we've constantly been talking about, it's trend where we make it difficult, but we end up getting the win. As Peaches said, not an easy win by any means, but the right result. Got there in the end.
Sigh indeed. Nervy moments for really the last 25 minutes, 30 minutes of the game. Inter Miami so comfortable for the first 60, 65 minutes. And then all of a sudden they score and Jordi Alba answers right away. But Inter Miami doesn't just kick on. Chicago continues to put pressure on, and we hit them in transition a couple times to create some opportunities, and Matías Rojas almost put it away, and Leo Afonso got an opportunity at the very end to put it away. And
Cello Wigan got a 1-on-1 with the keeper. What the hell? I mean, he's a right back, so I don't expect him to finish that, but I thought he had a really good game, by the way. Joe, you were wrong. I thought he had a really good game.
I will say, yes, Cello was fine. Cello was good. But Ian Frey still came on in 15 minutes and was more threatening and more dangerous. So, yes, Cello was good.
Yeah. We could have won that game. Yeah, AZ is completely right. We could have won that game 5-1 if we took our chances. Luis Suarez he's a weird specimen of a footballer. I thought he did everything perfectly except score a bloody goal. And Luis Suarez, because the more he gets frustrated, the worse he starts becoming. And he had this beautiful ball just dinged up the top to Matías Rojas, who unfortunately couldn't finish it. But it constantly felt like we had another gear to get into that we just couldn't find. And then Chicago got back into it. I'll be honest, I think Tata Martino's subs were a little bit too many. I'll have to rewatch the impact and when the subs were made, but I think that disrupted the flow quite a lot. He got on Noah Allen, Ian Frey, took off Redondo, Rojas, Leo Afonso came on. It just felt like a lot of changes at the wrong time. And yeah, we sort of lost the momentum that we were building after the goal as well. But we should have won this game 5-1.
I thought the opposite. I thought they came too late. I thought as soon as Chris Mueller came in, he was changed the game for Chicago, and all of a sudden they were controlling possession, had energy in the midfield, and Tata let that sit for like 10, 12 minutes. Yeah. And I thought 4 minutes into that, you could tell we needed to switch something up. And
it's all about the timing of the subs. Those I completely agree with you, but I felt like I don't think Noah Allen needed to come on that game. I thought the players on the pitch were doing a decent enough job to see it out. Maybe a little bit of fresh faces in the attack, but the defense, I think, was fine. Ian Frey coming on was a good choice, but other than that, I feel like we almost lost that game if not for Drake Callender, who had a couple of good blind saves. And overall, I think we're being a little too critical. The first half was probably the most cruise control I've seen us play without Messi. Matías Rojas, I think he had a much better game this time around than he did last time around. Very impactful, got involved a lot. Gressel could have had some really good opportunities where he messed it up a little
that,
bit.
that first opportunity
just,
where
oh
he just
my
hits
God.
it at the worst possible angle. But listen, we know Julian Gressel can't shoot. We saw him have a few almost bangers over the last month, but that was when he's in scorching form. We know that he's not putting it on target on a regular basis.
And then
He
I'm just trying to think
coming for the assists.
all the good things about it. And I'm not going to talk about Bright right now because we're going to talk about him for a stretch in our post-game show. We're going to mention him today, obviously. But Redondo, I think, had a really good game as well. I think the balance of the midfield today was so much better because Redondo and Rojas in first watch seemed to be playing both as eights, like a lot higher up than they were. And then sitting back a little bit from time to time, but a lot of the times they were quite involved in the attack. They paired up really well together, and I really like that combination. But the only reason they played that well and didn't have to worry about their defensive duties was Yannick Bright, who for me was, I think, the best man on the pitch for the 90 minutes across.
Yeah, I think I would also give it to Yannick Bright on a 90-minute basis. I think Jordi Alba, considering the goal, and honestly, Jordi Alba for the last 20 minutes was Inter Miami's best player.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
considering he gets the goal, I think that's hugely impactful. But yeah, Yannick Bright was excellent. I agree. Federico Redondo was really good, especially in the first 60 minutes or so. Thought he was getting a little gas towards the end and wasn't quite as impactful. But once you saw the game really open up, and Chicago came in a lot more than we kind of expected. We thought they were going to sit back and hit on the counter, but once we got an early goal, that wasn't really their game plan after the first 25 minutes or so. We kind of sucked them in a little bit, and then we were hitting balls over the top, and we were actually doing that quite successfully. It was just the second pass of the next play that we couldn't quite square off for the easy finish.
So a couple of things there.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like you mentioned some really good points. I think Chicago played a lot more in. I took myself off the camera there for a second. Apologies for that. Got a little bit too excited. But I think Chicago played a lot more forward than we anticipated. But I think that was more a result of Miami sitting back. And like we sucked in a lot more pressure than we should have. And that was, I think, both times after scoring a goal, we gave them a little bit too much respect. And I don't think we should have done that. We should have gone out and killed the game. And then the second point that you made, I think the reason that we sat back a little bit with those over-the-top balls, the number of times I just wanted to put Luis Suarez on skates so that he could just get away from his defender, because there was so much space for him to just run into, but he did not have the pace for that. And then I know. Just Busquets controlling from the back line always looks so great, and I really enjoy that. And today worked really well. But overall, man, I'm a little bit confused.
Fun result.
Game. We should have won that game by so much more. A 3-2 could have been a possibility. A 2-0 could have been a possibility. But glad we got away with the victory, man. And I'll take the positives over the negatives any day.
Okay, let's get to the chat. For me, this should have been a draw, if not for Drake being excellent. Dude, that save where he kind of floods it back into the play, but then he kicks it away.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That was so good. I don't think I've ever seen a keeper do that.
Not going to lie, we could have won this game 5-1 if we took advantage of our chances. I agree. Definitely. Just not clinical enough, but that's been the story of this season. Well, especially when we don't have Messi, right? There are times when we have Messi and it's just clicking, and we've seen us be super clinical, but we've had to create a large number of chances in recent weeks in order to get the results we want. And I think this was the epitome of that, where we really had to create a lot of chances in order to get the goals. And ultimately, the second goal was a little bit lucky. The Chris Brady and I think it was Chicho miscommunication. It might have been a different defender, but ultimately we kind of lucked out there. Although I do think Inter Miami's been so good at responding that if Jordi Alba doesn't score there, I do think we've just put heavy pressure on trying to get the next goal.
And we had like 3 other chances after that. Cello Wigan had a chance, then Ian Frey had a chance immediately after. Cello got into some really good possessions, by the way. I think he was much further up.
We have been very bad at finishing our chances over the last 2 games between minute 90 and 97 when we've created like 3 real chances in stoppage time.
Alfonso had a chance as well where he just kicked it too long. And then
too hard of a touch.
By the way, we haven't spoken about Robert Taylor, who basically created the chance.
That was awesome. Let's just keep going with the chat, though, because I just want to be in this energy with you guys. Cincinnati and Columbus lost today. That is true. Atlanta United with a come-from-behind victory at home against Columbus gets a 2-1 victory. The New York Red Bulls at home beat up Cincinnati, who's now lost 3 games in a row. Inter Miami has a 5. We have a 5-point lead.
Broken Cincinnati. We've absolutely broken them.
Dude, they sold their soul to beat us. I saw someone on Twitter write that.
Yeah,
we have a 5-point lead on Cincinnati. We have a 10-point lead on Columbus. We are starting to pull away a little bit. And now we have like a 5-week break or a 4-week break or whatever to, soak this in and enjoy the top of the table for a while. I guess the Galaxy have an opportunity to get 3 points tonight, but other than them, we're going to have a 5-point lead on everyone. Not a good day for Suarez. Didn't want to be right about the 2-1. I agree. I think Campana got a lot of criticism over the last couple games for not scoring, and Suarez had more opportunities than Campana had at any point. And that's a positive and a negative because he was finding good spots, but wasn't quite on point like we've seen him before.
Why didn't we see Campana on?
Dude, so when the substitute I would have made, Tata went with Leo Alfonso and he went with David Ruiz in the 72nd minute-ish. And that was his response. Try and put another body in the midfield, take Gressel and Robert Taylor off, and then give you the transition speed in Leo Alfonso. I would have put on Leo Campana instead of Alfonso because Campana's not slow, but he also helps you hold on to possession a little bit better, which I thought we really needed at that point. So
yeah,
that's what I would have done. I think that Tata might be a little afraid to play Suarez and Campana at the same time unless he just is desperate for a goal, but that's probably a conversation for tomorrow. I think the changes were right on paper, but didn't have the impact required. They should have been fresher and got the game back, but that didn't happen. Listen, I didn't hate the changes. I just thought they should have come a little bit quicker. But also Chicago's goal. I mean, that was a center back just kind of stepping up, put it between the legs of Cello and in the bottom corner. Like, it was a good shot. Hard to hate on that one. When we go up a goal, we really struggle to finish our chances. That has been the theme of late. I wanted to see Campana come on for Gressel. Yeah, that's something I probably would have done, either Gressel or Leo Alfonso. I'm sorry, Robert Taylor. Drake's Kung Fu kick save was awesome. Vamos! Yannick Bright, let's talk about him. He was phenomenal today. Really, really good in the first half. I've done this thing over the last couple games where I'm watching the game and my girlfriend's studying on her computer, like in the other part of the room, and I'll just go, "There's that man again," and she just laughs because it's always about Yannick Bright whenever he gets interception. And now it's happening like 3 or 4 times a half, and it's really showing me how impactful he is when I just say it out loud. Good game for Rojas. You agree?
No, first of all, let's go back to Bright. Now, he didn't just have an excellent half. It was brilliant. I think it was one of the best halves of football he's played for Inter Miami. He was everywhere and he was now passing forward, which I hadn't seen from him in this last few games. He was actually getting on the ball. His confidence levels seem to have just gone up in this game, and he wasn't afraid to step up and step in when necessary. And he was getting the right tackles in and the right spots, distributing the ball really, really well. Running back, I'd love to see his heat map because he seemed everywhere. And for someone who's a super draft pick, a rookie year, I don't think there's anybody who's fit in better in this world-class team than Yannick Bright. Absolutely coming from nowhere to now a household name in Inter Miami fandom, I think. So the more we talk about him, the more I think energy he gets and the better he gets. I think we should continue talking about him more.
Dude, we were on him before anyone. But you could, I remember going back to the preseason, we played Newell's Old Boys, and you could just see he was in the right position. He was making the big tackles. The fact that it took Tata so long to see that is really frustrating, but he's seen it now. And we talked about in the pregame show how Tata wants to get his best players on the field. And so he's moving Sergio Busquets out of his natural position in the midfield
to accommodate Bright, to
accommodate Yannick Bright. He's been phenomenal.
And not just
guys,
that.
Hold on, guys. Hit the like button for a victory for Inter Miami because I'm jacked right now. That was a fun game. It could have been really boring if things had just continued as they had for the first 60 minutes.
It was boring. I was on my phone when their goal went in. Like, I was like, okay, we're winning this by at least 3 goals. I genuinely thought this was cruise control.
But then it got fun. And we had to stress for about 15 seconds, but then we got the goal back and it was just a fun game. Good game for Rojas. I thought he was much better in this game.
Very good.
We talked about how Chicago was trying to control the game a little bit more, coming forward, and we were inviting them in a little bit, which gave us room to operate going the other way. And I think that really suits Matías Rojas's game. AZ Rebellion, Drake had a double save. That was, again, that was awesome. Yannick Bright was great today. The number of times that Bright helped to take back the ball in possession is insane. Guys, we've been telling you this for months. Yannick Bright is awesome. He's awesome.
Yeah, I'm starting my own Yannick Bright daily show, as Anton recommended earlier. I think I'm going to take you up on that opportunity, Alfonso. Just let me know what to name it. But yeah, dude, I thought Rojas had a fantastic game today. Robert Taylor created that goal, but Rojas finished it with aplomb. That was a fantastic finish on his left foot as well. First time. Good angle for him. He got into really good spots. I thought he could have had another goal. Didn't overdo it. I didn't think he was phenomenal or he wasn't extraordinary by any means, but he had a very professional, well thought out performance, well-rounded performance. He was involved in a lot of good things that Inter Miami was doing, and especially in transitions when we were putting the ball forward. I think he had some really good opportunities to just release Luis Suarez or someone who was running in. And overall, I've really liked the midfield balance today, and everyone seemed to be getting involved and working together. And one thing that we haven't really talked about is how well this team has built chemistry over time. It just seems like everyone is now starting to understand their roles. Everyone's starting to understand how other players around them play. And that's just uplifted this team. And one of the reasons we can grind out results is because everyone seems to know what job to do and when to do it. And I would like us to finish off games earlier for sure. But as long as we're getting the 3 points, that's all that matters.
Yeah, dude, I agree. And this is how we finished the MLS first part of the season before Leagues Cup, and it was awesome. So can't ask for a better thing. Peaches absolutely bright. Bright was really good to start. Alba at the end just said, "We're not losing this game. I got this, boys." And he's done that a number of times this season. Jordi progressed the ball very well. Yes, he did. I think we were trying to kill the game, just didn't have the quality to finish it off. Yeah. I think when we rewatch this game, we're going to think to ourselves, man, there was about 6 or 7 opportunities for us to put this game away, both in the first half and the beginning of the second half. Man, I wish Messi was in this game. There was space everywhere. Yeah. we would have gotten that 7-2 if Messi was in this game. When we need a goal, we always find a way to score. Jordi on fire today. Absolutely. Now let's wait for the LAFC and LA Galaxy games. Suarez, as usual, everyone yelling at everyone, but ended up having to yell at himself. Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Suarez was more involved in this game than Campana was during Copa. That's true. It's true, but also the things that Campana does aren't quite as noticeable as what Suarez does. And also Suarez, here's what I'll say in Suarez's defense. There was a number of balls where we tried to put him over the top and they got headed away by the defense. And so if they were 6 inches higher, we would have had a number of better opportunities. So yeah, at least Suarez touches the ball and knows where his teammates are. Yeah, listen, Luis Suarez is a better player than Leo Campana.
And he creates as well. He assists really well. Yeah.
I don't mean to insinuate otherwise. The Spanish broadcast kept saying that Tata kept him on due to coming back quickly from Copa. Is that Suarez, I guess?
Yeah, that's
Listen,
possible.
And Suarez got 90 minutes, right? He hasn't played 90 minutes in over a month. So, yeah. Is Tata scared to play with 2 strikers? Yeah, that's going to be a talking point for tomorrow, I think. I want to rewatch the game before we get into it. But Bright Appreciation Society. Yannick Bright was awesome in this game, dude. Campana for Gressel. Gressel gets involved in transition passes. Campana doesn't have that skills. I think he's talking about once the game had sort of turned and we were no longer getting the ball to Gressel in dangerous spots. And so you needed to switch it up. And Campana, whatever you guys want to say, Campana's good at holding up the ball and good at holding possession when you are struggling to keep the ball. which Inter Miami was at that point. Alfonso
I don't
had his
understand
chance
this
at Campana.
Campana hate.
I get it. If you are used to Suarez, who is, again, a better player, and then you go to Campana, it's obviously a downgrade, but still. Rather have a leggy Gressel than a fresh Campana any day. I don't think so, for me at least. Busi needs to be a cornerback because someone has to organize there. We haven't talked about Busquets as a center back. He was good back there. I'm really glad Tata didn't throw that idea away. He was good. He and Aviles together complement each other really well. They didn't have a ton of team speed. We talked about Haley Salesi in the pregame show. He didn't really do anything today, but their other guys are not burners. So I do think this was a great game for them to partner together, but it worked really well. And so I'm glad Tata didn't throw that out after.
I also think like Cello in there helps defensively a little bit. And I don't think he was going high enough for Aviles to be drawn out of position. And Luis Suarez, man, he's so experienced in there. As long as he doesn't face too many physical demons like he did against Cincinnati, and the technicality of Lucho Acosta really costs us there. But I think against a side like Chicago or Toronto, Busquets can definitely play that center back role. He's so press resistant. There were moments where he was just nutmegging people or laying people around in the back line. I'm like, dude, okay, we know you're not that great anymore, but you don't need to prove how great you really are. So it was fantastic. I really like him there. And I think that's an experiment that we can continue to do against the lesser teams.
Gressel was gassed at the end, and Campana might have brought energy on both D and O. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, there was a point where we were kind of gassed, both in the midfield and in the front three. Robert Taylor was definitely gassed, and we just needed to find a way to hold possession, to calm down, and just slow this momentum that Chicago was building. And I think Campana could have been helpful in that. And instead of going for possession, Tata decided instead, let's just try and hit him on the counter when we're out of possession. And that's why he chose Leo Alfonso instead, which is fine. It's just a different strategy. Mark, great question. Tied 1-1 in the 74th minute, had just given up a goal at home. If this game happens last year without Messi, do you think we win? I think the mentality of this team has totally reshaped, and I think the coaching staff should be credited with some of that. I couldn't agree more, but Saur, I'll let you take that one first.
No, like, not just last year. In the last 3 months, the mentality shift has been insane. This team without Messi could not have got a result 3 months ago. We've really grown into this. The youngsters have stepped up. They're players who are now adapting to their roles really, really well. And overall, there's just a lot of positive energy around this team. Yes, I would like to see us play more consistently across 90 minutes. But the fact that we can sit back, grind out results, and get some 18 points out of the 21 in this stretch of 7 games without Messi and Suarez, where I thought we wouldn't get more than 7 points, is insane progress. And I agree with you. The coaching staff needs to be credited, because this team could have easily become a afterthought after Messi left or got injured and we didn't have him available. But they've shown that this is more than just a Messi team. This is an entire roster constructed carefully with thought, and it just seems like everyone's contributing to the project now. And I can't wait for us to get into peak form when we enter the playoff season, because right now I don't even think we're playing at our full potential. This game, we were playing in third gear. I 100% think we could have gone up a gear if we wanted to, but it just didn't come through for some reason. And we have another way to go, man. There's just upwards and upwards.
Yeah. Mark, I had this very similar thought before we gave up the goal, but just earlier in the game, where I thought this is a team of winners. And it's not that the team, in terms of the personnel, is significantly different from last year, but the mentality is so much better. And the guys just have the confidence to just stay locked in, stay focused, and just perform. And again, even if it's David Ruiz and Noah Allen and Yannick, like, it doesn't have to be the superstars, but the superstars that came in and we built a winning culture, that has absolutely rubbed off. Drake Callender as well. These guys feel like winners now, even without Lionel Messi on the field, even without Luis Suarez, who's just gone for a long time. Like, they feel like winners. And listen, they gave up a goal and then scored again 25 seconds later. That's what winners do, right? So great question. And I felt very similarly during the game. Agreed, it took a while, but the team have clicked now. And now Inter Miami's absolutely unstoppable. The crazy thing is, we're still going to bring in David Martinez over the next couple of days. We're going to bring in probably another really big player, whether it's a U22 or a full DP. And no Lionel Messi, no Benjamin Kramaski, no Diego Gomez. Like, even the players that are already on the roster but just aren't available tonight make this team significantly better. So it's just an awesome team. It's so fun to be an Inter Miami fan right now. Why was Cello playing on the wing? By the way, Cynical Tube, I hope you had a ton of fun. Great game. We didn't even talk about the blue uniforms yet, which looked phenomenal. I didn't think Cello was playing on the wing. I thought we went to a back six and we just had two fullbacks on both sides. But it worked, and we were playing sort of a 6-3-1 to close out the game.
No, but at one point, I think when we were at least building forward with the ball in, then sure. Cello was playing, right wing, and then Ian Frey was right back. But Cynical, I hope you had a great time. It was a great game. I believe from the TV, it looked fantastic, but would love to know what the atmosphere there was.
My favorite part was Suarez yelling at their goalkeeper because it was palm back out, but it didn't come back to him. I'm going to look out for that in the rewatch.
I didn't see that, yeah.
100% grinding out results, stepping up. Love to see it. Where are the Tata out peeps now? Hey, listen, they were out a week and a half ago before, when we lost to Cincinnati. So they're still there. Remember that without Messi, there'll be no Suarez, Redondo, Jordi, Busquets, and probably not Tata. Yeah, listen, that's not lost on us. Messi is the cornerstone, the keystone to this whole project, of course. I mean, he's going to be replaced soon by Yannick Bright, but in the meantime, it's still Messi. No, I'm totally kidding. And listen, a lot of the things we've done well are things that we can keep when Messi comes back. And so you just add the firepower of Lionel Messi on top of all this. This is going to be real. And it sucks because this could have been the game he returned if he never got hurt in the Copa America, and we would have won 6-1, right? Gressel walked right by me when Tata took him out. He was steaming. I believe it. Gressel, ultra competitor. Do you guys go to the games? You're not local. I'm like a 2 or 3 game a year kind of guy. I'm not a like season ticket holder. It's 2 or 3 times a year is sort of my preferred amount. Makes no sense in comparing the same team this year as if they were the same team last year. Absolutely. And even though there are a lot of the same players, they've grown, they've matured, they're better players, but they're the same faces. And so to see the mentality difference is really noticeable, at least from my opinion. Gressel's a German machine, never wants to rest. The new kit is fire. Absolutely. Dude, what are your thoughts on the new kit? I totally interrupted you.
Dude, they've sold out, man. I wanted the customized one, and I don't think they're available in my size anymore. So I'm going to have to wait to get that properly, because otherwise I'm going to have to buy a blank jersey or one with Messi. And I'm not sure if I want a Messi jersey right now. I want to,
dude,
Yannick Bright one. That's what I want.
Dude, I think Yannick Bright's going to be my next one. They're going to restock it because that jersey is going to fly off the shelves. I'm definitely buying the new kit, just waiting for the DHK to get it. I understand. I got my Ian Frey one about an hour after they went on sale because I couldn't wait. Do you think we play Martinez in Leagues Cup? Martinez.
I think so. We can register him, right?
Oh, Davin. Oh, I thought you were talking about Joseph Martinez, and I was like, are we playing Montreal? What's happening? I was so confused. I don't think he's going to start the first. I don't think he's going to be available for the first game because of the work permit, but I think he'll be registered and will be available. Okay. Tickets are $20 to $30. Now's the time to go. Only bad things that it's hell out there. Yeah, listen, I've done the experience before. I understand. Let's do player ratings. That was sort of what we wanted to do. So how do you want to do this? Call 7 an average and just go from there?
Yeah, I think so.
Or
I think it's going to be.
I don't know.
This is less analytical and more from the feelings. This is like a I watch sort of a situation, because I will give everyone an 8.5 because I think everyone was great. Now let's go player by player.
I haven't looked at any like website scoring. I'm just looking at the lineup and the subs. So let's start with Drake Callender. What'd you think?
I think he had a solid 8 game. Some really good chances, some really good saves that he had. And yeah, I think no faults there, such apart from the goal that was conceded. I thought he could have maybe done a little bit better on the goal, but it came through Cello Wigan's legs, so it was hard to spot. But I think he did well.
Yeah, I do too. I'm going to give him a 7.5 because he had some good saves, but he also spilled the ball a couple times.
Yeah.
And you want to see him clean that up. But ultimately, he made the saves he had to for us to get a win. Cello Wigan.
I'll give him a 7. I think he was really good in a lot of places. One of his better performances in recent memory, and could have had a goal, man. He could finally have had a goal, and we could have put the best right back in the league debate to rest. But unfortunately, that's not to happen this time around. I thought he was okay. I thought he was really good. I know Ian Frey has set a standard that's much higher, but honestly, if you put Ian Frey anywhere on the pitch, you're going to be like, okay, he's better than than the alternative. So not to blame Cello Wigan for Ian Frey's greatness, but I thought he had a good game. So I'm going to give him a 7.
Yeah, I'll go for it. I agree. A 7 for Cello. He was solid, good, no bad mistakes, never like incredibly important impact play, but he could have if he finished his chance. I'll go first for Tota Aviles. I'm going to give him a 7.5. I thought he was good. I am really curious about the rewatch because there was a lot going on going forward, but my impression was that both Cello and Tota Aviles were really good in defensive transition, especially in the first 75 minutes of the game. I thought they were really good. I'm going to give him a 7.5.
I think he was understated in this game of how good he played defensively. I'm going to give him an 8 in that. I thought he was really good defensively. Didn't have too much of a fault on the goal itself. I thought David Ruiz could have covered better, but for me, Aviles was really, really good out there. So for me, it's an 8.
Busquets, to me, the same. I mean, he was good defensively, always in good position, makes you feel really comfortable on the ball. He helps you play more expansively because you just have that body back there that can just spray it around. I really like Busquets as a center back when Yannick Bright's in front of him. So just 7.5 for me.
Yeah, I'm going to give him an 8 as well because he just gives you a different option, right? He allows you to play the long balls that you might not usually play. So then it gives you completely different options to build up offensively. You can either go centrally or you can go through Busquets. So an 8 for me. Great performance in center back. Very helpful in the build up. So no complaints.
What about Jordi Alba?
Has to be an 8.5 or a 9 for me. I think in the second half, he was just great. I'm going to go with a 9 just because he had that decisive goal. And in the second half, he literally said, okay, you kids can sit down now. I'm going to show you how it's done. And honestly, if we could finish our chances, he may have got a couple of assists. So a 9 for me. I think he was one of the best players out there.
Yeah, Yannick Bright I thought was really good. I thought Jordi Alba made the game and made the win. So I'm giving him man of the match. Give him an 8.5, 9. My best grade. I agree. Yannick Bright, what are you giving him?
I think it's 8.5, 9 as well. First half, absolutely bang on with everything that he did. So important for this team to try and compose itself when out of possession. He just gets in the face of the opposition in the right spots. His interceptions, I'd love to see his stats of how many times he actually won the ball off the Chicago legs because it felt a lot. And every time it felt like Yannick Bright was going in for a tackle, we had the ball in our feet. So first half, especially, just a brilliant game from him. And he was everything good about Inter Miami in that first half. And the second half, it was a little bit slower, but that's the entire team in itself. So I think it's an 8.5, 9 for him. Great game. Potentially my man of the match.
And it looks like Miami gave him the man of the match for them. He was really, really good. Redondo, I think not as good as the last game, but still pretty good.
Yeah, 7.58. I think he didn't necessarily have too many goal involvements and stuff, but he was doing the simple stuff very effectively. A lot more forward play from him this time around. I think that might be something that they worked on after watching tape from the last game. Last time around, I felt like he was playing a little bit more conservative and passing back a lot. This time around, he was linking up really well with Gresso, with Rojas, and there are a couple of movements that I wanted to point out. I don't remember now, but he had some really good movements in the midfield where he opened up the field of play completely by just, turning his body the right way and feigning the defender. So overall, I think he had a really good game, a 7.5 for me. Solid.
Yeah, you saw the talent, the technical ability, the little clever cheekiness in his game. And I thought for the first 60 minutes, he was really good. I thought after that, he kind of gassed out. And that's part of the reason why we struggled to hold onto the ball. But it was a good way to follow up an excellent performance on Wednesday. And I think he keeps that momentum going forward. And this is a guy we're going to need to play well in the Leagues Cup if we want him to do well, if we want to do well. So 7.5, definitely above average performance. Matías Rojas, your thought on him?
I just by virtue of him scoring that goal, I'll give him an 8, and I think he was really positive going around, getting linked with Suarez, Redondo. I think both Redondo and Rojas linked up superbly today, and Rojas could have had another goal. He had a sight on goal that he I think he tried to play it for Afonso or the person who was running into him.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but he was goal dangerous. Took his finish really, really well. So I'll give him an 8.
Yeah, that one, oh man, I think he was trying to dump it off to Afonso,
Yeah,
and he
I
just
think so
overhit it a little bit, and
Yeah.
Afonso couldn't get to it. If he had put that on target and then scored a second goal, he would have been man of the match for sure. So yeah, 8 for me. Julian Gressel, I'll go first. Quieter game compared to what he's done recently. His goal contribution streak comes to an end. I'm sure he would have gotten it if Tata allowed him to play the full 90, but he doesn't. He comes off in about the 70th minute. Still a solid performance, still creating, still putting balls into dangerous areas. Again, one of the themes of this game is the number of times that we were about 4 inches too short on the cross and Chicago got ahead to it. And if it was just 6 inches, 8 inches, a foot higher, it would have been a perfect ball and, with really good vision. But Gressel just couldn't get it today. So give me a 7 for him, average performance.
Yeah, I'll say a 7, but some of his deliveries are so lethal, man. The way they curve in is insane. And honestly, a shame that we didn't have a Campana tall enough to get on the end of it. I hoped Ian Frey would have gotten a goal towards the end, but Gressel wasn't on the pitch at that time. But some really dangerous balls, but yeah, much quieter. His streak's broken now. So, but I guess he comes out of this stretch of 7 games as one of Inter Miami's best players and most improved players. And if we do the rankings again, he's going to probably go higher up. So well done to Gressel, man. He dug in and dug himself out of a hole that he was digging.
I will say Matías Rojas took a few of the corners so that we could have outswingers on all of them. I don't like that. I want Gressel taking all the corners, either side. Yeah. Luis Suarez, I'll let you go first.
I'll give him a 7. I thought he wasn't bad by any means, and 7 is an average performance that we've gone with, but he was doing so many things so well, but the final output was just not there. He needs to be a little bit more patient when it comes to these things, because I think he riles himself up too much. But then again, who am I to tell this phenomenal legend of the game to change his attitude? It sometimes gets a little bit annoying as a spectator to be like, okay, yes, you're being frustrated, but that's now affecting the rest of the actions that you're doing as well. But I think he had a good game, some really good opportunities. He created one for Rojas that we talked about, and then a couple of other balls that it just felt like there was that 1% missing towards the end where the ball was either intercepted by a defender or just was slightly ahead of the target man. So it didn't come through, but you have those days. Thankfully, we came out with the victory, so no harm done. But 7 for me.
Yeah, he had one shot in the first half where he turns and fires, and it's hit so hard and so suddenly that it hits Chris Brady right in the chest, and he still can't catch it. And if that is 2-3 feet either direction, he would have gotten a goal. So good game from Suarez. I'll give him a 7.5 because he didn't get a goal contribution, but a good game, maybe even an 8. Last starter, Robert Taylor. First 6 minutes, incredible. After that, not as incredible. I thought he was average after the first 6 minutes, but he made that first goal with the workaround. I thought Robert Taylor's play on that was just vintage Robert Taylor, balling out, getting his team the lead early on, and almost have to blame him because if we score in the first 5 minutes, we're just going to be casual for the rest of the game. We like to go down a goal so that we can really rev it up and win easily. So I blame him for making it too easy for us, but ultimately he did give us the lead early on, and that was awesome.
Yeah, I think I'm going to give him a 7.5. Got a little bit lost towards the end. Second half, especially, I don't think I saw him once in any offensive action.
He looked really tired after like 25 minutes.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
But I thought the one thing that he did this entire game probably changed the complexion of the game. So I'm going to give it to, I'll give him a 7.5, if not an 8.
Okay, let's do the subs a little bit quicker. Ian Frey. No, let's go in order. David Ruiz comes on in about the 70th minute. He was energy in the midfield that we needed. Not exactly possession, but he did have a few opportunities to get out in transition and drew a yellow card on Brian Gutierrez. 7 average. I mean, what you expect from him, right?
6.5. Yeah. I mean, not enough sample size for time to give him a higher grade than 7. Yeah.
Leo Afonso, same thing. 6.5 because
should have got a goal. Should have got a goal. Yeah.
Too heavy on the touch. Noah Allen and Ian Frey come on in the 80th-ish, 84th minute, something like that. Can't remember. But 2 defensive subs. Noah Allen has a nice play defensively, but really you're just in lockdown the game mode. Ian Frey, though, again, just comes on and is fearless and magic, and it's awesome.
Yeah, I think Noah Allen had a couple of difficult moments where he gave the ball away in a very dangerous spot that could have been converted. But other than that, he was fine. I'll say 5.56. Ian Frey, 6.57. I think he was one of the better subs that came on. He's growing into it, man. I think he's now finally starting to get back into full fitness, and it might be time soon for him to start games on a consistent basis. We'll see, but I'm really happy with his progress. I'm really happy the way the management is handling his minutes. But every time he's on the pitch, he can make things happen, which is so weird saying for a defender, for a center back. It's the weirdest thing to say, but yeah, it is what it is. I think every single game he's played, he's had a shot on goal. Every single game.
He's awesome, and he dribbles, and he's awesome. That's it for players. Let's get to the chat before we wrap it up. Guys, hit the like button for an Inter Miami win and for going live and the energy right now, because dude, doing it after the game is fun. We've never done this before, and I like the energy about this. Boosie definitely keeps Aviles using his brain back there. 100% agree. Love. This is about Boosie and Aviles. Love him being able to see the entire game. For Busquets can dictate and direct, which is just what Boosie does, and I completely agree. Awesome. Luis Suarez, 9 out of 10 for bad mouthing everyone, including the keeper on the field.
And himself.
Yeah. So entertaining. Fire. 5 points. We're going to wrap it up now because we only plan to go for like 20 or 30 minutes. But you guys made it so much fun, and all your comments and all the energy, like, it's fueling me right now. Anything else before we go? Inter Miami, 5-point lead on Cincinnati, 10-point lead on Columbus. Both of those teams lose. The New York Red Bulls are starting to pull themselves back into the picture, but I don't know. Anything else before we wrap it up for tonight?
Up the effing Herons, man. We've been doing it for a while now. It's been 7 games. This stretch of games was so important for us to actually determine how this team plays and how we're going to go into the playoffs. There's still time, obviously, but top of the table, you're right, Peaches. 2-1 victory. We've moved on from the first half of the MLS season, now onto the Leagues Cup, and hopefully we can go beat some Mexican teams now and show them what Inter Miami is about.
I know, Leagues Cup. Dude, I haven't even thought about Leagues Cup yet. We'll do a midweek episode on Leagues Cup at some point. But guys, I will be back for 5 things on the Heartbeat tomorrow morning. The 2 of us will be back for our normal post-game breakdown tomorrow evening or afternoon, whenever is the right time for that. And that'll be our normal, hour and a half breakdown where we give out awards and go through all the big moments and talk about the tactics and stuff. But for now, we just wanted to try this where we come on after the game and be a part of the energy and enthusiasm of the game. And I think this was a really good one because it was easy, and then it was really nervy, and then it was fun again because we scored and took the lead, and then it was nervy towards the end. So
we looked good while doing it.
Yes, both because, by the way, there was some moments in the first half where we were just like pinging the ball left, right, back, forth, and the goalkeeper was just like going back and forth because it was just lovely run of play, and it was just unfortunate that we couldn't finish any of them because they would have been really big highlights. Anyways, guys, we'll be back tomorrow. I'll be back in the morning for the heartbeat. We'll be back for Dry Pink Dialogue tomorrow afternoon. Have a wonderful night. 3 points secured, 5-point lead at the top of the table. I don't know what Tata's thinking. This is the best team in the league, and it's only going to get better when some of our guys come back and we bring in a few new players. Love the energy. Love doing this. Love being a part of this. I think you're going to have to sign us off, dude, because I'm just so happy. I don't want to end this.
All right, guys. Before Scotty loses his mind and keeps rambling on, this has been a fantastic episode. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a lovely evening. As always, it's your host, Saur, and signing off with my best and favorite co-host, Scotty. See you guys.
See you.